All right, what's up, guys? Let's recap these trades here today at the end of the week, Friday, June 10th, 2022. Finishing up $385. It's actually the biggest green day I've had by about 20 bucks. I think my previous biggest day was 386. So, definitely making some progress. Biggest green day, technically, by a couple bucks, which is awesome. I traded three different stocks, BIMI, COGT, and PALT, PALT. Green on all of them, however, small green on BIMI and PALT, and made $372 on COGT. I was so in tune with this stock. It just felt like butter trading this. I was just getting in, getting out, confident on the breakouts, adding on pullbacks, selling into pops, adding off the lows in a consolidation. A bunch of different strategies utilized to get 372, and I still feel like I could have done better. And that's like always the frustration with traders is like even when you're red, you feel like you could have done better, and obviously to get green. But even when you're green and really well into the green, you still feel like you can get better. And I think that might be the reason why. Very successful traders stay successful is because they're always trying to get better. And me, even though having my biggest green day, I'm even seeing that there are some trades where I could have held longer, where I could have cut my loss sooner, where I could have got in earlier to maximize my profit and get even better. So let's go through these trades here. Pre-market. First started trading PALT. So let's take a look at PALT. This one, this is re-jog my memory here for the catalyst. I do forget the catalyst. It is up on an acquisition news, so it's not the best catalyst, but I did go ahead and take a breakout after the higher low here pre-market. And I actually fumbled the football a little bit here. This started to pop up relatively quickly on this candle, and I was trying to get in, but I was struggling to get filled, so I was hitting the ask like 3 or 4 times until I finally got filled towards the high. And then this candle pulled back a little bit, and I still had all those orders set up for those previous prices that it didn't get filled, and then it immediately filled all of my orders. And I was in 3,000 shares, and I felt a little bit, I was in too much, which, I mean, this is a $10,000 position. And so, I immediately started closing my position for about a very small loss. But on that sort of size, it was still a $50 loss. But so I kind of fumbled the football there, and then ended up getting back in a regular size for the breakout, and I was able to make that back. But it was kind of a bad start. If I never really got into that mess of oversizing on accident, I could be sitting up an extra $50 or $60 on that stock and added to the end of the day. But that it is what it is. I was trying to get in, and pre-market, you can't really hit market order, so you're kind of just hitting limit orders, and then I wasn't canceling my limit orders that weren't getting filled, and then they just immediately all filled when the stock dipped a little bit, and then I was in too much. And it could have easily rejected this level and had a false breakout, and on 3,000 shares I could be down $300-400 in an instant. So it's good that I closed it out for a small loss rather than risking a false breakout. I did end up getting back in though for the breakout. I was in about 1,000 shares, scalped that for about 3 cents, and then caught the first 1 minute pullback. However, it didn't have any follow through, and I did take that off for a scratch. Then went back in for a dip for the previous resistance, which is now support. And I was in 1,000 shares at $2.60, took 500 off at 262, and then the other 500 off at 261 because I was testing the lows again and showing sellers. And I took my profit before it broke down, and then once it got under that resistance level, is technically now bearish to me. It's no longer in a front side pattern. So I did size down a little bit, doing 500 share increments instead of 1,000. Tried doing some backside trading. It did start to like hold this 9 EMA, so I did size in 500 shares for maybe a pop back over that resistance level, but it never happened, and it had another full body candle to the downside, which then I closed it for a 1 cent loss. And still, after all that, I'm still about right now maybe down like 15 bucks on that stock by 8 a.m. And then it pops up through that resistance level and through the 9 EMA showing strength. So I put in my starter size at 262 and I'm playing off the high here. I'm looking for the break of the high. So I take half off for some profit and then I add back on the dip as that candle turns back from red to green, showing support off the 9 EMA, adding into the breakout level. And then once we get that breakout, we have a nice couple cent pop, and to which I start taking my profits. And I was in about 605 shares. It looks like I didn't get a full fill here because it was an odd number, 355, because I was usually doing 500 share increments. So I didn't get a full fill there, but still nice profit from 262 to 268. It's a 6 cent gain right there. Then I got in on the first dip and then looking for a break of 273. So first 1 minute pullback after a fresh breakout. So I like to buy off the previous resistance level that now acts as support. And I'm looking for continuation. So I go small size, 200 shares. And then add another 300 for the break of 273, but it does, start going sideways. And on this candle, I closed it for about a break-even trade or a small win, $5 win or so. And then that was it on PALT. From there, it just went backside and didn't give any opportunity from there. And volume just kept declining. So then let's go over to BIMI. That's the other stock I traded pre-market. It was giving me some hope here. Did pop up, had a good front side. I did buy for the break of 75 cents. It is a penny stock. I don't like penny stocks too much. I always find hard to manage my risk on a penny stock. I'm either in too small or I'm in too big. You can never find that right risk reward, or that right like scale to be trading, because some of these penny stocks have huge ranges. They can go from 50 cents to $1 in a couple candles, and some of them can be grinding like half a cent every candle. And so that's why I find it hard to trade stocks under $1. So really, very small size. I'm trading under $500, about $400 position sizes. But still going for it, taking some scalps, just even if I could just get some practice in, get some wins, definitely boost my confidence going into the day. So that's kind of what I did on this stock. And I did scalp, through 75 cents, took a quick scalp 1 cent, and then another 3 or 4 cent through the break of 80 on this micro pullback on the front side after a fresh breakout, which is awesome setup. And took a nice almost 4 cents there. Then we did get a nice flush under, after this huge green candle. I was looking for another pullback, got in at 56 and then sold for a quick profit as it got bought back up off the lows. So this was sort of like a panic dip buy, and I was looking to sell as soon as the candle was getting bought up. I was not looking for a continuation move because it was very extended and it had a huge red candle. Then here I was trying to get a bounce off the 90 EMA and the VWAP, but you just never had those buyers hold that up and bring it back up over 85 cents and 86 cents. That's what I was looking for. Maybe then a push up to $1, but never really happened. And as this candle flushed down under VWAP, I did give it a second to see if there were buyers that would buy it up, but it wasn't very convincing. Nobody was eager to take up those shares, so I closed it for about a 4 cent loss. Only at 500 shares though. And then BIMI, I did take one trade at the open for this flat top breakout. I was thinking, we would dip down here and then it would get bought back up and then we'd rip through the VWAP, but it didn't happen, and I closed it really quickly as I didn't see any buyers under that level of that previous support at 69. So I took about a break even or 1 cent loss there. So BIMI only up $3 on that. PALT up about 10 bucks. And then COGT, the big stock of the day. I was not expecting this at all from pre-market. This was not even on my watch list until right before the open. And that was the only thing that was moving. So I just focused on this one at the open and until 10:30 and got green and walked away. I think a lot of traders were watching this because there was really nothing else moving. So it was a lot of concentrated volume. Everyone was looking at this. And so that's how we had these huge breakouts, which you could really, dial in on and make some good money. So here, right at the open, it did have a good catalyst. Let's go through the catalyst first. The catalyst, phase 2 trial data shows clinical activity of their drug for treatment of hematologic disorder. So phase 2 catalysts, positive phase 2 catalysts are pretty significant. Phase 3 is even bigger. Phase 1, a lot of drugs will go through phase 1 and pass the trials on phase 1, and you will see some sort of moves if they have a low float and there's a lot of relative volume on the stock. But phase 2 and phase 3 on a low flow stock is a huge catalyst, and that's definitely a reason why we saw a move like this. So let's go through the trades. So it's a phase 2 catalyst. It was the only thing moving, and every trader was looking at this. So definitely was the stock to watch, at least for small caps. So at the open, we kind of went sideways a little bit, and then the shorts kind of pushed this breakout down. So it was a false breakout. And, I'm sure shorts thought this was just going to go backside from there, but this got bought up pretty quick, and then it just ripped 40 cents through 680 and then up to 720 in one candle. And that was on over 1 million shares traded on that candle. And then from there, I didn't trade the breakout. I was kind of being patient because it was going sideways, so I didn't really think this had much potential, just looking at it from this perspective. So I was kind of staying away from it, but once it had that huge 40-cent breakout on huge volume, I know it was game on. And I was adding on the first pullback $7 for $7 support for some continuation over 720. And I was doing 500 to 1,000 share increments. And then I had a position upwards of, at a time, I think my largest position on this, my largest position on this at one time was 2,000 shares. So on a $7 stock, that's $14,000 position size. So I was pretty confident with some of these trades, which is good because, that's how you level up. I mean, you just keep seeing the same things over and over again. And then, you just get more confident trading these stocks. And then that's how you size up over time. So here, first pullback, looking for some continuation, kind of taking some off profit at 715, 716, adding back on this candle as this candle dipped down below this candle. And it rejected the prices under $7. So that was really bullish. And then it got bought back up all the way to the high. That's almost a sign to like go like 2 times, 3 times your max size, which I did. I was in 1,000 shares, taking half off at 723, and then adding back 1,250 shares at $7.36 for a move up to 750, taking some profit on the way at 50, 51, 33, and then actually had one sell kind of early at 725. But then I got back in for the pullback. Only 500 shares, so I figured it was kind of extended at this point. We haven't really seen too many parabolic stocks, so I was kind of, starting to size down after this point. And I was already up. I remember I was up like $250 or so, and I was like, you know what, this is a good day. I might just walk away here. And then, before you know it, this thing set up again, and I had to go for it. And here, took a couple scalps, a couple break-even scalps, and actually missed this first part of this move. But then got in on this micro pullback at 788 for a move up to 8. And actually, no, I didn't perform too well on this leg here. If I would have held this 1 minute pullback and then a run up to $8, that would have been awesome. That's a 50-cent move. And then here I sold again too soon, only for a 1 cent gain. I think I was thinking it was very extended. I was looking for a bigger pullback, but there was definitely another 10% move there that I didn't capitalize on. So that's one thing, I could do better on to have a bigger day. Sizing into another 1 minute pullback on a very strong stock, increasing volume. The selling volume is much lighter than the buying volume. So, if it's a front side move, consistently going for those pullbacks for the next pop, for the next leg up, because you really have no idea how high it's going to go on some of these front sides, especially with this type of volume. I mean, on this candle is 1.6 million shares on a $7 or $8 stock. That is over $10 million traded in 1 minute. $10 million changed hands in 1 minute. That's insane. So then I waited for the next pullback and started buying under the 9 EMA. I was thinking this would base out and we'd find some support around 750, which we did. I really thought that this had more in it down here, so that's why I was kind of sizing in, kind of scalping the range, taking much smaller size as well. Potential backside moves, but still kind of off VWAP, is still kind of above VWAP, but kind of backside. I'm still, trading it, but I'm going lighter size because this could have easily have been the end of the move. But it did have potential to curl back up. So that's why I was still trading it, but smaller size, kind of managing my risk and protecting the profit that I made at 9:30 and 9:45. So kind of adding in 100 shares at a time, backside, scalping the range. And then I saw flattening out here. So I knew we would kind of have one candle kind of test this area under 760 that I was flattening out, just to kind of probe and see if there's any buyers under here, which we did on this candle, and it immediately flipped green and broke out through that 9 EMA. This was a crazy trade. I remember just like trying to get as many shares as I could possibly get at that price. It was just so many buyers are coming in. Just look at this candle after this consolidation. That's just so bullish. And I get in, I start taking some profit, and then I should have held towards the high, which is another thing I could do better on, is like this is a pretty convincing trade. And a lot of people watching it at this level, good chance it's going to retest the high. So I should have at least held a couple hundred shares for a runner to the high. But, it is what it is. It's still a green trade. I'm still, great on the day, so I can't really complain too much. But there's just one thing to keep note of to have a better trade. And then I got back in as it was holding $8, so I get in at 803 for 600 shares. Again, not full size. And I take that off, kind of just trading the range here. It's kind of thinking we'd retest the high, but it did kind of wait too long, so I wasn't really holding that much. I figured, this could either do another pullback to 775 or so and do an ABCD pattern, or this could rip up as a flat top breakout or a cup and handle. In this case, it did do like sort of a cup and handle. So here you have the cup and then you have the small handle. And here is where I went balls to the walls. This candle dipped down below the 9 EMA, kind of probing, see if there's any sellers under there. But there were buyers buying that up immediately. High volume, 1.7 million shares on that candle. I was adding at 820, but I wasn't full size. So 700 shares, held for the pop, got a nice 30-cent breakout and taking it off for a 21 cent profit. So I got the bulk of that move, and on that trade alone, I made $150. And that put me from 250 to $413 on the day. That's like, I've never had a day over $400. And I was like ecstatic. I was like, maybe I should just walk away now. But then again, this thing sets up again. And I go ahead for a pullback after a fresh breakout, high volume breakout. And I take a small loss there, and then I take another small loss there. And then, I'm back down to like 391. So I'm like, oh, great. I got to get back to 400. I had to see the number 4. And so I trade this again, and I make back, I was like back up to 409. And then on this trade here, I shook myself out. I was buying towards the high, and then it kind of did a little fake out. And at that point, I was down to like 385. 385. So I went from 413 to my high to 385. And at that point, I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter if I'm up 400 or if I'm up 385. It's literally a $20 difference. I just got to save it for another day. Another day I'm going to hit 400. But, today I have to stay disciplined and take the money off the table because it's already, past 10 o'clock, past the window where I do the best in. And now I'm kind of risking all of that profit that I made on the day just to try to see an arbitrary number of 400 or more. And that is just not what a responsible, successful trader would do. So I forced myself to shut it down. And you know what? This thing went another 22% without me. So you know what? It could have been a $400 day. It could have been a $500 day. Or, me getting in my head trying to get to a certain number would have screwed up my psychology, and I could have given away, another $100 or another $150. And who knows? I didn't know this was going to go another 20%, and it's outside of the window that I do well in. So it was smart that I walked away, even though, I could have made more. I can't really think like that because, I'm in it for a long term, and most days are not going to be like this. Most days, a lot of the highest gapping stocks and the most of the action is going to be between what I find for me is 9:30 and 10 or 9:30 and 10:30 to the latest. And anything after that is usually for me not worth it to trade. Whatever I'm up on the day, I'm usually thinking about conserving my profit after 10 o'clock or 10:30 and not looking to, again, to be swinging for another 5% profit on the day or 10% profit on the day. Because that's just risking, all of the work that I worked for from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And like, this is what happened on Wednesday. I was up, at my daily goal, $250. And, at 10:30, I'm still swinging for the fences, risking everything that I just made for 3 hours. And I ended up giving it all back and hitting my max loss because I was so frustrated. I just kept trying to go in to make it back. And that was a lesson learned for sure. It was a painful lesson, but it was something that I had to learn. And that's just something I'm going to carry going forward to, ensure that I keep the profits that I make on the day. So really by Wednesday, I was pretty, a little bit frustrated and thinking, this might just be another scratch week. I'm zero on the week by Wednesday. I think I had a $50 day Monday and then 300 on Tuesday, then max loss. So that was $360 down on Wednesday. So it was pretty much a wash week on Wednesday. So I really had no expectation of, having, back-to-back solid days. And here I am, I hit my more than my daily goal the past 2 days. And I'm sitting really well on the week. I was not expecting this. And that just, goes to show about my discipline of learning my lesson on Wednesday and, playing a little bit more conservative and taking the best setups and, not having FOMO of, if a stock goes without me, that's okay. That's okay. There's always going to be another opportunity, and I can't let the missed opportunity influence my psychology going into a trade because I definitely find myself chasing a stock, and that's what happened. On Wednesday, I chased the stock and it dumped on me, and that was it. That was the end of my mental state on Wednesday. So learning my lesson, to stay conservative, protect the profits that I have in my day, adjusting my share size, from pre-market to the market open, and then, after 10 o'clock or after 10:30. Those are key aspects to protecting your profit and staying profitable and successful as a day trader long term. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. If you guys got any value out of this video, please hit that like button. Also consider subscribing. I do trade recap videos every day. So I'm going to be back here Monday with a trade recap video. And every once in a while, I do sprinkle in a little bit of live trading. Sometimes I do it around 3 p.m. for power hour, and sometimes I do it pre-market for like a live pre-market watch list. And so definitely stay tuned for that. Always try to come back for that. And I'll be looking forward to it next week. And see you guys then. All right. Peace.